But why, some say, the moon? Why choose this as our goal? And they may well ask, why climb the highest mountain? Why, 35 years ago, fly the Atlantic?
Because it's there.
This video is not intended for children. Viewer discretion is advised.
If you haven't already, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you.
We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things. Not because they are easy, but because they are hard. Because that goal will serve to organize and measure the best of our energy and skill. Because that challenge is one that we're willing to accept, one we are willing to postpone. What was once the furthest outpost of the old frontier of the West will be the furthest outpost on the new frontier of science and space. Houston, your city of Houston, with its manned spacecraft center, will become the heart of a large scientific and engineering community. But if I were to say, my fellow citizens, that we shall send to the moon 240,000 miles away from the control station in Houston, a giant rocket more than 300 feet tall, the length of this football field, made of new metal alloys, some of which have not yet been invented, capable of standing heat and stretching, several times more than a television screen, fitted together with a precision better than the finest watch, carrying all the equipment needed for components, guidance, control, communication, food, and survival on an untried mission, an unknown celestial body, and then returning safely to Earth, re-entering the atmosphere at 65,000 miles per hour, causing heat about half that of the temperature of the sun, almost as hot as it is here today, and do all this, and do all this, and do it right, and do it first, before this decade is out, then we must be bold.
We must be bold, and believe me, ladies and gentlemen, we were having to watch these two episodes. Greetings, one and all, and welcome to Mornings of Mischief. I'm your host, Stone Loki. It is the end of the week. That means it is the retro review on Friday. Yeah! We've got two kick-ass shows coming to you this morning. We've got this one, and then we've got the best of Batman animated series coming up in about 2 hours. But first, let me welcome my co-host this morning, Purple Valkyrie. Good morning, Purple.
Good morning, Loki. Good morning, Valhalla.
Rambling Canuck. Good morning, you crazy Canadian bastard.
It is apparently morning. It is still darker than hell, but it is morning apparently. Yeah.
And Dave Bob, my brother from another mother, the Rooster himself.
Howdy, folks.
How are you doing, brother?
Doing good.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't after watching these two episodes with West. Shit.
I watched it before I went to bed last night.
McQueen saved the first episode for me, but
Yes.
he gave me my one laugh when he showed up that punk with the gun. That made
Oh,
yeah.
Do you not like me? Right in front of his troops. Do you not like me?
Oh, you little bastard, you. Oh, shit.
A little mini Patton.
So, our first episode, Toy Soldiers, is pretty much about West's little brother. We've got two West-centric episodes. Well, the second one's not exactly West-centric, but it's still about West. You've still got Crying West.
It's still got West in it, unfortunately.
Crying in hallways, yeah.
And I was
Shut up,
thinking
Wesley.
last night, yeah, shut up, Wesley. Yes. Is this why they were like, fuck this show?
Couldn't they have just killed off Wes? I mean, there's a simple solution to this.
Fox, they were only going to have 2 seasons. I didn't know that. I did not know that. They were only going to have 2 seasons. The second half of the season was going to be about the end of the war, and they didn't even get to do that. They didn't even get to do that. The producers were tired. They were making X-Files. They were like, oh, we thought we could do a second series, but yeah, we can't. And they were going to end it after the second season, and Fox didn't even let them do that. And maybe it's because of episodes like this, Toy Soldiers. I did not like Toy Soldiers. I don't know why.
Too cliche.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, not only that, but again, they have a perfect opportunity to show what their military discipline is, and they don't do it.
No.
Because that dude survives till the end.
Yes.
Oh, he survives. Yeah. The lieutenant.
Right? Yeah. He
Yeah.
survives. That's there should have been a trial or something.
Yep.
Anything.
No.
Some sort of payoff, yeah. I think for me, it was just because as soon as you knew who this character was when he gets introduced, you can already see where the episode's going, and you've got 45 minutes then to get there.
Yeah, and it's just a slog getting there, and you know what's going to happen. The only surprise is after. Okay, so basically, ladies and gentlemen, West's little brother shows up on the ship, and his commanding lieutenant, the lieutenant that's commanding him, is a hard charging Marines lead the way. We've got 5 guys, but we can take out the entire Chig forces with just our 5 guys.
Do
He's
you
one of
want to
those
live
guys.
forever?
Yeah. Come on, you apes. Do you want to live forever? And he puts them in a horrible situation. And they all die, except for the lieutenant. But you don't know that lieutenant is alive. You have no idea. All his men get killed, and then the 5/8 get over there. Nathan and all of them get over there, and guess what? That fucker's like sitting there, like looking around, like, I'm still alive, when his whole unit's dead.
Yes, just sitting there like, what the hell happened?
Well, that didn't go to plan.
Yes.
That's when you roll a grenade in there before you.
Yeah.
Oh dear, the Chigs took him out. What a shame. Yeah.
Quite a contrast with Band of Brothers. They even mention that.
Yeah, they do. In the worst possible way. Yeah. It was the dumbass that said it.
Yeah, it was the lieutenant. We few, we happy few, we Band of Brothers.
Oh, you just wanted to throw up in your mouth when he said it. I was just like, oh, no.
After watching that show and then watching this, you're just disgusted with what happens. It's disgusting.
Where was Patton to slap this idiot? I mean, did I say that? Oh, darn, that's politically incorrect. Oh, well.
all he was worried about was the glory. We've got to make a name for ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the other thing that they did that was really jarring was they kept throwing up quotes throughout the episode.
Yeah.
So it would be like a scene break, and then you'd have a quote, and then it would go on to the next scene, and then there'd be another quote, and then the next scene. So,
yeah,
I almost celebrated a couple of times. I thought the episode was over early.
It did make me laugh, though, that Neil was kind of more butch and masculine than Nathan when he was talking, even though he's supposed to be the younger brother. I thought, this kid's got a really deep voice.
Yeah. Yep. I will say he had a very deep voice.
So one of the guys that this lieutenant brings up is Marine Sergeant Dan Daly, who was in World War One. He entered World War One and is already a Medal of Honor winner that he got during the Boxer Rebellion, which happened in Haiti. He was 44 years old when he joined World War One. He was in a month-long offensive. He was exhausted. His entire unit was exhausted, on the verge of quitting when they did a hard charge against machine gun fire, and they won. Come on, you sons of bitches, do you want to live forever? Which obviously goes to the Oh my God, I can't believe I can't think of the name of it this morning. Jesus Christ, the other Space Marine movie. That was a book. Come on, you apes, do you want to live
Starship
forever?
Troopers.
Starship
Starship
Troopers.
Troopers,
Thank you,
yeah.
son of a bitch.
Well, I knew what you were talking about, but I didn't know that is exactly what you needed.
Yeah, of course, that's where they got that from.
Mhm.
But he brings up these people in history like we can be just like them. Come on, we're gonna be heroes. We're gonna win the war. And I'm like, you and your 4-man recon group?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
A four-man recon group that hadn't seen action yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they get sucked in by a trap. I mean, it's just a mock-up of something to draw them in. And they take it just like a bunch of little candy-ass babies.
But they're told to leave it the fuck alone,
Oh, yeah.
too.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Leave this, and it's like they think it's like a comm tower, a communications tower, and they're told, leave it the hell alone. That's not our job.
Yep.
And he's like, come on, guys, we can be heroes. We can go out there and we can win the whole series offensive right now by doing this. And it's like, oh my God. All it takes is one demo charge and we can blow the thing sky high.
Yep.
And I don't know if you guys caught this, but when they fall into this trap and Shane tells him, you have defied orders. You have violated our mission and defied orders. He's like, I didn't do anything. We were fired upon. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yes. I didn't engage the enemy.
They engaged us.
He's technically right.
Technically,
Not really.
Honestly,
He's right.
Honestly, they had already calibrated that position and everything and sent it back to their bomber crew that was going to come take it out. So, I mean, the guy was just being a punk. That's all
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah. He
But that's it.
wanted glory.
Yeah, not only did he put his own men in danger and ultimately make them sacrifice themselves, he also put the 58th in danger.
Yep.
Because
Well,
they
I
were just
mean,
there to protect them.
if Wes would have got it instead of his brother, I don't think I would have complained too much. But
Colin asked if they actually had the same opening title credit scene for more than 2 episodes in a row. They actually have.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They changed it. McQueen's the one talking, like walking it through the episodes now. He's, we thought we were alone in the galaxy.
Yeah,
They
I think
changed
that
the-
started a couple of episodes ago.
Yeah, with the Angriest
Mhm.
Angel. That started with the
Yeah.
Angriest Angel. Yeah.
I actually like that opening a lot better than the original opening.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, poor Neil. And obviously he's a character that we saw way back in the beginning. We were introduced to him when he was a lot younger before he decided to enlist. And Wes just had an absolute hissy fit when he found out.
Oh, man. Do you see that body bag, boy? Do you see it? They're going to be zipping you up in that.
and by the episode, they are.
Yeah,
they were.
well done, West. What were we
You're
saying
going to be
last
looking
week
at that
about
thing
some
from the
footballing
inside.
Well, that his initial reaction was okay. It was when they were on the planet and he broke that transistor in order to get him over there, and
Yeah.
he talked to him. That's when he fucked up. It's like you're on a mission. You're in a position like that. Leave the motherfucker alone. Let him do his job. You do yours, and don't make him overthink anything. Because that's exactly what he did. He made him overthink everything. Having his brother there made him overthink everything. And his unit may have listened to him if he was like, no, sir, this isn't our mission. These aren't our orders. His boys might have listened to him. Instead, he went along with the lieutenant and put them in a horrible fucking position.
Yeah, I was wondering, when they were talking out in the open and he still had his radio going and both sides could hear what they were saying, was that deliberate or was that accidental by West? Because you could see Henson's face just really goes blank when he says you shouldn't be listening to this guy, he's going to get you killed.
Yep. And Dean Krantz makes a very good point. Number one, Marine officers do not lead recon teams. That is absolutely true. They would have been led by a sergeant. Second, a second lieutenant would not be in a recon battalion. No recon team would have more than one newbie. You wouldn't have a whole group of newbies that had never been in the ship
The
before.
plot.
So
The bro gotta die.
you said the show was originally 2 seasons. Was the Angriest Angel the first episode? No. They had 12 episodes in the first season, and then they had 12 episodes in this season. So we are on 16 and 17 if we're going by just or 17 and 18 today, if we are going by just the episode numbers.
Mm-hmm. I still think that these were shown out of order. There's a couple of these that I think could have been moved around and made a lot more sense continuity-wise.
They were, yeah. And the episode and the way we're watching them is the episode how they appeared. Yeah, because I know I probably screwed Dave Bob up. Dave Bob wasn't expecting that because in the DVD set, they are done by production.
Mm-hmm.
This is how they were intended to be seen. This is how they're going to be seen. Instead, we're watching them how they were seen by air date.
Mm.
Which, if you watch Firefly by air date, which we are going to do after this episode, after this series is over, we're going to watch Firefly by air date. That's going to fuck you up because you're going to be like, wait, what?
Definitely out of order.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's weird, but to be fair, because this was such a bad episode, you don't care really that it might be out of order. You just want it over with.
Was it out of order? Who cares?
Who cares? We get it reintroduced to a character that we met way back in the first couple of episodes, and as soon as you meet him, you know where it's going. But yeah.
As soon as you saw him show up on that ship, you knew he was meat.
Yeah.
And McQueen takes it to him. Canuck brought that up backstage. McQueen walks up to this guy as he's like bitching out his troops. And was like, give me your fucking gun. He's like, you think the loudest gun fires the emptiest gun fires the loudest, or whatever the fuck he said.
Yeah, because he didn't clear the breach.
Yeah.
Before he handed him the gun. And he says, do you hate me? No, sir.
Hell, I was in the Army. That was the first thing you did when the drill sergeant walked up and wanted to see you. You racked that slide, cleared the gun, and handed it to him.
Loki, you were talking about when we did the Band of Brothers about how dangerous somebody with that sort of gung-ho attitude can be.
Yep.
Is this like the prime example?
This guy came over from supply. That's a little joke that some people get, some people don't. Basically, the guys over at Supply, they sit there and dream about being hard chargers and commanding groups of men into battle, and how if they just had their chance. And I'm talking about officers here. I'm not talking about the guys that actually, huff shit from one side of the warehouse to the other. I'm talking about the officers that run Supply. You don't want to go in a battle led by someone that came over from Supply ever. So this guy came over from Supply, obviously.
So theoretically, even though we didn't get the payoff, would he have been court-martialed for what he did?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
He would have probably been. He could have actually been executed for that type of insubordination.
Just ask the lower-ranking commanders of the SOM about that. Now I say lower-ranking because higher-ranking get the opportunity to pass the buck,
But yeah, they came over from Supply. Where'd you come over from, Lieutenant? I came over from Supply, sir. Oh, that explains it.
Sit your ass down.
Right. So, if you had to give this episode a score, what would you give it? We'll start out with purple, and we'll go down the line. And
I gotta admit, I didn't enjoy this episode at all. I would give it a 4. It was nice to see Neil back for the short time that we had him. I do actually like his character. I like the relationship the two brothers had. I think we could have done with a little bit more of that. I thought West's response to seeing his brother was way over the top, and like you say, it was a massive distraction throughout the entire episode. It distracted their team, it distracted the 58th as well, because West kept bitching that his little brother was under the command of this, gung-ho guy that just wanted glory. And the worst part about the episode is you knew within a couple of minutes where it was heading, but you had 45 minutes to get there.
Yep. Were you good at supply? Yes, sir. I recommend you go back there again. And Skull Ords, how are you doing, brother? Good morning, Ords. So, Canuck.
You know what? I'm going to give it a 2. I'm going to give it a 2 only because McQueen made me laugh so hard. But he just showed that little punk ass up. It was funny. Because he waited for West to leave so West doesn't see him do it, which was just great.
Yep. Dave Bob.
I'm going to tell you what, this episode really bothered me a lot. It was just so cliche, so cringe. I'm going to have to give it a 3. It just didn't make any sense.
Bad phone.
Commissioner
It's the
Gordon.
red board. Commissioner Gordon. Right away, sir. Robin to the Batcave. I'm going to give this episode 3 as well. It's like what Purple said. Where this is going. You meet West's little brother, and you're like, oh shit, what would that be like? Oh, your little brother's showed up on ship and he's going to be going on missions. Really? And then you go on a mission with him with a lieutenant like that. You just know what's going to happen. West is worried about what's going to happen. He tries to stop it from happening. It's not going to stop from happening. His little bro's going to die. The only surprise at the end is the lieutenant fucking makes it.
Yep.
Yeah.
All his men are dead. They're laying there. They're dead. West's little brother's dead. He's like, holy shit, they're all dead. And then you see the lieutenant open up his eyes and look like, I'm a scaredy cat little bitch who sat here and let my men die while I acted dead.
They could have done so much better if they would have had something where, even if it's like a 2-second end credit of, somebody giving him shit back on
Court
the
martial.
ship. Yeah, court-martial, right?
For me, I would have preferred to have seen him die, but West's brother survived, but injured, and then join the 58th so he could be under West's wing, because that would have taken West's mind off the girlfriend, so we wouldn't have to hear about her again.
Oh, God. Nope. And it would have, like Canuck said, if they would have done something, if they would have had Ross talking to West, and been like, this is not how Marines conduct themselves, Lieutenant, and something to establish that
over, boy.
that this lieutenant is done, and West gets like a slap on the wrist for being a dumbass. But West is a dumbass all the time. So yeah.
Do you think it was a little bit of hero worship on the part of Neil, because he's the one that actually stands up and says that the lieutenant is he has impeccable decision making skills. We would follow him to hell and back.
Snafu. Situation normal. West fucked up.
When his little brother did that, his little brother does not know his commanding officer.
Nope.
They does not know his commanding officer is going to be effective in combat. That's one of the things that, like, you see in that first episode of Band of Brothers.
Yeah.
I can't even remember his name at the moment. The asshole that's training them. He's
Sobel.
great. Sobel, yeah. Sobel's great at training. He's great running them through their paces. He's a fucking prick. He doesn't take any shit. But then once they do the drop and he's like in a position where he has to make a command decision, he's like, men, follow me as we boldly power walk into a fucking ambush.
Yeah.
It's the same lieutenant. It's the same kind of lieutenant. It's the yelling, I'm a badass motherfucker, you will fear me. But when we get into combat, I don't know my asshole from my elbow.
Yep.
I'll be over there.
Yeah, and you'll be right here.
I lead from the rear. Those kind of lieutenants, yeah.
Those kind of lieutenants.
I will stand here and shout shit at you. You will do what I shout.
And then try to blame somebody else for
That's
your
right.
fuck up.
And try and blame someone else for your fuck up. So the second episode of today is called Dear Earth. And a transport arrives on the Saratoga with mail from Earth, and everybody in the wild cards gets something, including Hawks and McQueen. And Wayne gets a package, and it's like a piece of sod from Wrigley Field, and you're like, how the fuck do you get a piece of sod from Wrigley Field?
And it was fresh too.
Yeah.
That was somebody jumping over a fence with a knife. That's what that was.
Dampoose gets a letter from her fiance. Nathan gets a letter from his parents and figures out, they haven't been informed of his brother's death yet. Great. Vanson gets a video message from her sister, and she completely loses it.
Oh yeah.
It's like, that's what I wanted to name my baby. What the fuck? And gets pissed and spends the whole episode trying to talk to her on a video chat. And Hawks and McQueen get letters from the military saying, hey, we're going to make a documentary about in vitros. Right after McQueen's like, Hawks, come on, we don't ever get letters. Hawks, McQueen. And he's like, huh? What? Both got fucking letters. All you're going to get is something from Publishers Clearinghouse and a divorce papers. So come on, let's go. Hawks, McQueen, shit.
You knew right then it wasn't going to be good.
No.
Yeah, this episode was so weird. It's like they had a pile of potential storylines, and instead of picking one and going with it, they just put them all in the same episode.
Yeah.
And let's have
it was all over the place for sure.
Yeah, let's have the storyline of I was gonna name my kid that. Shut up.
My eyes are hurt.
To be fair, that's a real kind of sibling thing to do. Your sister has picked a name for the longest time. You're like, I'm going to get there first and take this name just to be awkward.
Spiteful.
That's right.
I remember when you stole my Barbie when I was 5. Yeah, okay, I get it. I have 4 kids.
Honestly,
I've heard that argument.
Honestly, there were some good aspects of this. This episode. It had some good parts in it, but taken as a whole, it was too all over the place.
Yes.
Someone that more than one person has mentioned in chat for the past couple of shows, why are these Marine pilots going down on ground missions? And there is a part of this episode where McQueen is briefing them on a mission, and he jumps their ass about people complaining that these pilots are being sent on ground missions. He's like, you're a Marine. Every Marine or rifleman, get your ass down on and do your mission, do your jobs.
Yep.
Doesn't matter whether you're pilots or not. If you're being deployed on a ground team, you're being deployed on a ground team. Get your shit together.
Mm-hmm. And he also says it in the opening credits. They go where they're sent, whether it's in space, whether it's on land, whether it's on water. They go where they're told to do the job.
And a big hey-o to Mary's game room. Sorry, Mary, you're not feeling good.
Yes. Hopefully you get better, my dear.
Yeah, feel better soon, Mary.
But yeah, I know that's been brought up in chat. Why are these Marines pilots going down on ground missions? Well, apparently that's the way they do things. You go where you're sent. You're going to go where we send you to go. If you don't like it, tough.
That and it's the cast, and we'd have a very short show if they weren't sent on all these missions.
Yeah. All be space battles.
That would get expansive.
And Archer and Colin, I believe it was. I'm betting it was. I'm betting someone was like, yeah, this wouldn't be happening. And they threw that in there to be like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Yes.
Pretty much. We even had a really weird kind of tangent with Dampus where she gets injured. And I was thinking, is this the part where she gets her extra sensory perception back? And no, she doesn't.
No, that'll never happen.
No, we're never going to see that again. But
No.
I thought, just maybe where she stands up, she gets injured, she gets her goggles kind of get blown up, and she gets like shards of glass in her eyes. She has to have like bandages put over her eyes, and she's left alone on the planet, and she's hearing Chigs closing in. She just stands up and fires. So I'm thinking, maybe, just maybe, she's got this extra sensory perception, but no, she was just firing at random.
Yeah, she damn near killed. She damn near killed Wang too.
Yeah, she did.
And Stephen Glenn, thank you so very much, Stephen Glenn. Stephen Glenn with a $50 super chat. Thank you so very much, Stephen. He says, cowardice in the face of the enemy and death is despicable in most of our eyes, but some folks are just made that way. Finding one's courage for these folks is hard. We should pity them because they die over and over. Love to Loki, Purple, and the mods. Huge love to you, Stephen Glenn. Thank you. The father of Nicholas Glenn. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much, brother, for that $50 super chat. You all keep the fires burning bright here in Valhalla, and we're going to send out the Spartans for you, brother. Oh!
School!
Spartans! What is your profession?
Caught me off guard with that hole.
Well, we'll make it up since we fucked up the first time. Stephen Glenn, thank you so very much, brother. We're going to send out the Vikings this time. Maybe that'll fix the problem. Score! I went to say "ow, ow, ow," and it was like "oh, skull." I did the "ow" and the skull. I combined them. Oh shit! I combined them this morning. Thank you, Stephen Glenn. That was very generous of you, sir, and you are right. Pity these people. Pity these people that that let their fear control them.
Mm-hmm.
So. This is another one of those episodes that coming off right up the last episode, especially with West. I'm like, God, why do we need to see more of West? Let's just see more strawberries.
Yes.
Yeah.
More strawberries.
Oh, if he ever finds out who did that, they're dead ducks.
Well, we're gonna save that just in case some of these people haven't. We're gonna save that. Let me get through West, and we'll talk about Shane. It's just like he goes to Ross, and he's like Commodore, and there is a fucked up part of this scene where he's talking to Commodore Ross, and Ross is like, okay, we know that your parents didn't get the letter about your brother. We know that because there's another West in the military, and his family is the one that got the letter, and their son isn't dead. So it's like, holy fuck, you guys, and this was something that happened during World War II. This was something that happened in Vietnam. The Marine Corps would, Navy, whatever, would get the yellow letter, the yellow, your husband, lover, your son has been killed in combat. You get the letter, and sometimes they fuck up, and they fucked up. And he's talking to Ross, and he's like, I don't want them to just get this letter. I want them to get more. And Ross is like, this is what the Marine Corps does, son. This is what they send out. They've been doing it for all these years. And Wes just leaves. He turns his back on the Commodore and walks out of the room. And I was sitting there going, no, my boy, no, you asked to be excused. You asked to leave. You don't just turn your back on the Commodore and walk out having a pity party. That is not the way shit is done. No, he'd snap you back like you were a fucking cadet again. No. It's just and it's just more West, and it just drags the episode down.
It does. The tone of the episode is very odd. Like you say, this is a direct follow-on from the previous episode. So every bit with West is very serious. It's very down. But all the other parts of the episode are quite light. They're quite light-hearted stories. And there's just this huge contrast. And every time West is on screen, you're like, oh my God, can we not?
Those guys that are following the in vitros, with the film crew, they that was hilarious in a lot of the parts, except for one.
Yes, and poor Hawks, he was actually really excited because people are paying attention to him, and it's his chance to show what in vitros can do, and and the Queen just doesn't care. He just, no, I don't want any part of this.
Distracted by something else, and they just walked off right in the middle of him talking to him.
Did anybody else hear that, or was that?
Dave Bob went underwater for both.
Yeah. Sorry, brother. We only caught like the tail end of that. It was that was it. We got.
Well, this computer is not exactly top notch.
Okay. You're all good, brother. We didn't understand what happened. It was garbled communications on the front.
Okay. Basically, what I said was it was funny when Hawks went up to his buddies and tried to, pal around with them. They were all distracted by something else, and they just kind of walked off on him.
Yeah. When the film crew was watching him. He's like, guys, the cameras are watching. Damn it. Yeah.
Be my friend.
Although I do like when he finally snaps and punches that guy. It was funny.
Yeah. McQueen says, you got a good couple of licks in there.
God. But the real beauty of this episode was Shane. Shane Banson. Even with Vampoose and the blindness, you're just kind of like, and Wang's babying her, and you're like, And then you get to Shane. And Shane's like, Shane gets a message from her sister, and she's like, we're going to name the baby Melanie or some shit. And she's like, oh, you bitch. That's what I was going to name my first daughter. And she's like, no, fuck that. I'm calling that bitch. And she goes to make a call, and guess what? There's a fucking line out the ass. And she's like, I'm 148. 148th in line.
This baby's going to be 5 years old by the time I get to the phone. Yeah.
And she's bitching in line. And one of the guys is like, yeah, whatever. Get back in line. And she's like, I'll trade you. And he's like, anything. I'll trade you your spot and I'll give you anything. And he's like, I want strawberries with heavy cream. And she's like, fruit? You want fresh fruit? He's like, you're goddamn right. We have to eat paste. We eat combat compound paste is what I get to eat every day. You guys over in you pilots get to eat good shit. So get me some strawberries.
Well, before that, you got to get McQueen give her that letter, and she was all excited because she thought she was getting approval from the brass. And instead, she
The
got a
promotion.
yeah.
Yeah, she was waiting to find out if she was going to get a promotion to captain.
No,
And
it was
then-
permission from the brass to get a phone call.
Oh, that was
Remember,
yeah.
she was gonna get she had gone up the proper channels to get the emergency phone call home.
Yeah, and she was disappointed that it was just that she was a captain.
Yeah, she got promoted. So the guys are like, why don't you go through this weasel that can get anything? If you go through this weasel, then he can get you anything, and you'll get your phone call. And she ends up doing that.
Yeah, she goes to the weirdo Mank.
Mank, yeah, the weasel Mank, and it's like, okay, what do I got to do to get some strawberries? And she gets her strawberries, and she walks in and she gives them to that guy, and he walks out. He takes the strawberries. He's like, oh man, but I'm next in line. And she's like, she eats one of them in front of him. He's like, fuck it. Grabs the bowl of strawberries and leaves, and she makes her phone call. And the baby's being born. Literally, the baby's being born as she's making the phone call.
Oh my god, yeah, it was. And just as an aside, I don't know why TV shows do this, but they always use the biggest babies for newborns.
Oh, God.
This kid was like the size of a 6-year-old.
Yeah, this is like a fucking toddler that came out. You're like, damn.
That had to
No.
hurt.
So I know there's rules for using newborns, obviously, but guys, could we try a little bit harder to find a smaller baby?
That's a big ass baby. No, that's like, yeah, no, she didn't have a cooch or an asshole left. It was just all one big hole. No, that's a big old toddler. They just sprayed some gunk on him and we're like, all right,
Yeah.
there you go.
The kid was nearly old enough to enlist.
He could have walked out after the thing.
Oh shit. Yeah, give the baby a smoke. My God. So she gets her call, and her sister, is having the baby, and everything looks good. And then it switches over to the guy that got the strawberries, and he's sitting in the mess hall with this bowl of strawberries with cream, and their guys are all around him, and they're like, "Are you gonna eat them?" And he's like, "I can't." Why can't you eat the bowl of strawberries? You got the bowl of strawberries for swapping the call. And he's like, I was going to call my girlfriend and propose. And you're like, oh shit, really?
Yeah.
You're going to propose over vid chat? Really? That's not cool.
No.
Really, and only that, the guy really needs to get his priorities straight.
Yeah. I just gave up proposing to the woman I love for strawberries.
For a bowl of fucking strawberries.
3 strawberries and a bit of cream, yeah.
And then suddenly Commodore Ross comes in. Now, I don't know who did it, but some motherfucker on this ship took my bowl of strawberries with heavy cream. And you're like, oh shit. And the guy that got the strawberries starts shoving these strawberries down his fucking mouth. Oh, he's like, I will not prosecute the man who brings me my strawberries, but some motherfucker on this ship better bring me my strawberries.
Yeah, and if it is not here within an hour, when I find out who it is, it's going to be drawn and quartered.
Thrown off this ship, yeah, while in transit. And that made me smile. It made me laugh. It's like, oh shit, they stole the Commodore strawberries. So you've got a whole room of people that saw Shane give this guy that bowl of strawberries, and a whole mess hall of people that saw this guy come in with strawberry. And you're like, damn, is the Commodore going to find out what
Yeah.
the fuck happened?
I think that would have been even more funny if the Commodore would have walked up to him just as he had them all in his mouth and he was trying to choke them down and he's looking at him.
Just what exactly do you think you're doing, boy?
Was eating them the smartest course of action? Would it have been better for
Got
him
rid
to
of
just
the,
put
got
them
rid of
back?
the
or-
evidence. Got rid of the evidence.
Got
I-
rid of
I
the
guess.
evidence. Yep.
I guess, but like you say, there's a whole room full of people that saw him sitting there with a bowl of strawberries.
He didn't even dip them. He didn't even get to dip them in the heavy cream. He didn't even get to dip the damn strawberries, and neither did Shane. The one Shane ate didn't have any cream on it. What was the point of the heavy cream?
Yeah, which was kind of odd because it looked like they were floating in the heavy cream.
Yeah, like milk. Like a bowl of milk with fucking strawberries in it. I don't know. But that was the best part of the damn episode. Was Ross
was.
coming into the mess hall. Some son of a bitch stole my strawberries, and I will find them. I will find out who did it, and they will be drawn and quartered and thrown off the ship in transit. Oh, shit.
Somebody's going to have a long, intimate relationship with an airlock.
Yes. Yes.
To be fair, Ross had some really good scenes in this because earlier on as well, when McQueen comes in to bitch about the TV crew following him around, he said, "If you're gonna gripe, take it elsewhere. I'm playing the guitar."
That's right. And he laughs at him. He laughs at him when they're playing the video and McQueen walks up to him and he's like, "This is horse shit." Ross just kind of like smiles and halfway laughs at him like, "Ha ha ha, it's not me. It's you."
Oh, it was such a weird episode. Like you say, there was some really good points, and I think without the bit with West, it would have actually been a fun episode because it would have, lightened the mood after the previous one. But because it follows directly on, and we've still got the storyline going with West and his brother, it just drags it back down.
Yeah. Damfoos gets a Dear John letter too in the midst of all this. That letter that she got.
From her
yeah,
fiance.
well, blinded, yeah.
Yeah. She had
That's
to
it,
have
I'm done.
Wang read it to her, because she had her eyes, screwed up. She thought she was going to die. Very
I
dramatic.
can't be bothered to sleep in my bed solo, so here's your Dear John letter.
Yeah.
That was a really cowardly way to do it because these letters take so long to get to them. They could have been a couple for several months before she ever found out.
Yep.
Married 3 kids before she found out.
Exactly.
DJ Ronnie G, I assume you're talking about those strawberries. Sell it for cereal or coffee. Yeah. Find someone to make a trade with.
What was the thing that Vanson traded for the strawberries?
Okay, that is a captain's latrine pass. What that is that is a pass to use the upgraded bathrooms. That's why Minx is like, "Oh, soft, squishy toilet paper." He's like, "Oh, soft, cottony, flowy toilet paper."
It's the little things in life, I guess.
Yes,
Captain's latrine.
the captain's latrine.
This thing better be like gold plated or something.
Yeah.
Soft, squishy toilet paper.
Well, they might not have that. You got to think. Okay, so they're out in space. All that space is at a premium while you were in space. So every inch of space costs something. So to have a closet or a room filled with rolls of toilet paper, that's not something that's going to be normal. So most likely, everyone that's not like captain or above has to use some form of vacuum suction tube or something when they go to the bathroom. They don't get soft, squishy, flowy toilet paper. Or maybe they get 1-ply. I don't know. I don't know how much room's on this ship.
Two squares a day.
Yeah, 2 squares a day.
Use both sides, yeah.
Snortopoob is soft and squishy, just like a seal. Nom nom nom. Snortopoob is you're one of a kind, brother. So I don't know. Maybe they don't have toilet paper. Maybe they do. Maybe it's like the damn airlines where you have the blue water. I don't know, but apparently the captain's mess or the captain's latrine gets you soft, squishy toilet paper. So, and that's the pass she gave to Minx.
Yeah.
And you also find out a little bit about McQueen's early experience in the Marines.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Story he tells. Yeah.
And Dean Krantz, yes. After 3 weeks on a ship or in the field, little things you take for granted are luxuries. Absolutely. Like being able to get ice cream. That's some shit. Why? Because, again, freezer space. It's a luxury. So, cheap institutional toilet paper, just like a Motel 6 and prison.
Or at most workplaces.
One roll's got to last you a week. Get one razor and one roll of toilet paper. It's got to last you a week. Yep. You run out of toilet paper, guess what you're doing?
Stealing the buddy next to you. Borrowing. Yeah, that was the word I meant to use.
Borrowing, yes.
So if you guys had to give this this episode a score, what would it be and why? Purple.
I'd give it a 5. I really wanted to like this episode, and like you say, there are some really funny parts. I think, the bit with Ross is probably the most entertaining. I liked a few of the storylines, but because they didn't seem to decide which story they wanted to focus on, it was just a kind of jumbled mess. And stories and bits that you think are going to go somewhere, especially with Dampoose, don't go anywhere. And we just got too much West again in this episode. Even though I thought the ending was quite moving, when he, instead of sending out, letting them get the official letter, he sits down and writes a very moving letter to his parents, explaining exactly what happened, and saying how much he loved his brother and how proud of him he was. I thought that was really sweet. But yeah, he just kind of drained the momentum out of the episode every time he was on screen.
All right. Rambling Canuck.
I think I'll go for a 4 just because there were some funny parts and less West, but yeah, 4 is about as good as I can give it.
Yeah, I'll give it a 5, but I'm gonna have to take away a half a point for West. And honestly, it was a mishmash. It was not cohesive. It just jumped around too much.
It was kind of like a tangled mess of what are we doing here? Whose story is this? And then it's kind of like it's everybody's story. Mm-hmm. Even West's story from last week. Shit. So you're just like, God, really? Why? Why are we still talking about this? Oh, because the letter got. So we're gonna throw the letter thing into this and just incorporate it into this giant mess of whose story is it anyway? It's not Bampoose. It's not Wang's. Hell, Wang's a fucking side character to Bampoose. Mm-hmm. Wayne's got like the sea story. The best thing that happened to Wang was he got some sod from Wrigley, and we don't even know how the hell that happened. It's like, oh, here's some fresh fucking grass spray. Oh, look, it's sod from Wrigley. Really?
Yeah.
What's he going to do with it now that he's got it?
How long was it in transit? And why was it still green and fresh and moist?
And how the hell did his parents get away with that shit? Oh, we put it in the freezer in the transport. Really? You think you could pass on some better shit than grass?
Yeah.
He got a book as well. But yeah, he was most excited about getting that little square of grass.
Yeah, and yeah, Dean Krantz, food not served from a vacuumed can and clean clothes and hot water. That's some shit. You want a shower, you want to shave, you want some food, and you want some clean clothes. This episode is just weird. And the more it jumps around, the more you're kind of like, what the fuck? But then you've got that thing with Shane. And you've got the strawberries. And you're like, oh, shit, Ross is pissed.
Yup.
Damn, I want to know where the hell my strawberries went.
That was,
And you're
that was
just
the
like,
best part of the
damn.
whole episode.
If they are not returned within an hour, one of you buggers are gonna die.
One of you's going out that damn airlock for treason. Yeah, it's like, damn, he really wants his strawberries back.
Do you know how many lieutenants I had to kill to get? I mean, do you know how many?
Oh shit! But yeah, I gotta give it like a 5. I gotta give it like a 5 because it's too all over the place. But then you get that spot with Ross, and I just can't help but smile. Stephen Glenn, thank you again, Stephen, with the $5 super chat. What are the channel's thoughts on the Marine line officer that is demanding accountability from senior leaders for the Afghan debacle? They hate him. Okay, here's the problem. He went outside of the chain of command, Stephen. That is why they are pissed, because he went outside the chain of command. Instead of taking the problem to them, he went outside. And you're not supposed to do that. Generally, they don't like it when you do that. It's a lesson that you have to learn in the military. Is you don't go outside your chain of command. And he went outside of his chain of command. So they're pissed at him. Do I think that they should be court-martialing him? No. I think a reprimand, and you tell him, keep your shit to yourself next time. But that's one thing you have to learn when you're in the military is you don't go outside of the chain of command. It's generally considered a no-no. So...
Here's the worst posting we've got, and can I have your clearance papers, please? I need to hit the shredder. You're not even cleared to read the envelope that these things come in anymore.
And the senior officers are going to do what they're going to do. And I'm not saying that any of this is right from a perspective outside of the military. All I'm saying is that when you have a problem, you take it up the chain.
Yep.
Do I think, and again, I don't think he should be in the brig. I don't think he should be being charged. I think that you deal with it and you don't make a giant show of it. But in their eyes, they may be looking at it like he made a big show of it, so we're going to make a big show of it. And that may be how they're seeing it.
Yeah. It doesn't usually accomplish what the end goal is.
Real courage, risking jail, Article 15, losing rank. Yes. And if you asked me from a personal level, do I agree with what he did? Yes, I do. From a personal level. The military in me, though, says you don't go outside of your chain of command.
Yeah.
Ever. You just don't do that. Now, are there situations where you have to? Every rule has a
bend.
A bend, yes. Thank you. So.
Or an oopsie.
I didn't know. I don't know if he had been. I hadn't seen that. If he has, that's a good thing. He didn't need to be in the stockade. He didn't mean to be court-martialed for but that's my personal opinion. So. He knew he was violating chain of command. Yes, he knew he was violating chain of command when he did it. He absolutely did. You don't get to a position that he was in without knowing the chain of command and knowing how that works.
It's kind of drilled into you from the time you go in the service. You know, chain of command is pretty sacrosanct.
Dean Krantz, it was clear to me he was having about a PTSD. He even mentioned he had been going to counseling. One of the Marines killed was one of his. I'm glad he did it, as am I. I am too. On a personal level, I absolutely agree with what he did.
Oh, yeah, it took courage, no doubt.
And they should. And they should, Stephen Glenn. Absolutely, positively, they should. You know, we're watching the show about fictitious Marines in space, and what they're doing, and we're almost to the point now where we are going to get to the more controversial episodes, because the end of this series is very controversial. We're going to find out some things that we didn't know about at the beginning of this, and it's going to completely change our perspective on what is happening, on what is going on. And if they'd have been allowed to make the end of their season, their second season, we would have found out a lot more. And it is a very big shame that we are not going to get to see that. We're just going to have to talk about it. I can't wait to share those episodes with you in the future. We are going to have Purple Valkyrie coming up in the next hour with Batman the Animated Series. Is that right?
Absolutely, yeah. Going to end the week with a nice fun show talking about one of the best, if not the best, animated TV series of all time.
Nice.
What do you have coming up, Canuck?
Karaoke on Saturday night, and then I have a live stream on History with R&R on Monday, and then that's all I have confirmed at the moment. I have 2 videos that'll drop over the weekend because I will not be able to edit them today, but they'll get out tomorrow or Sunday.
All right, Dave Bob.
Might be on another panel next week on the Band of Brothers.
Nice.
Oh, heck yeah. Can you let us know what day?
I think it's going to be Wednesday, but Pat S. actually asked me to ask Purple about it, so I'll ask her after this.
Indeed.
Well, we won't blow the door off that yet if that is not something we are ready to talk about.
I think we should be okay, if that's okay. I don't think Pat would mind. Obviously, we have got the 5th episode this evening, and then we've got the break for the weekend, and then I actually asked, may I take episode 6 because it's my favourite, and I would love Dave Bob to join me.
Oh, that is awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
And Lady Mist, good morning to our guardian of the void, Lady Mist. Guys, this has been an absolutely wonderful week. I've loved getting to do this show this week. Thank you all so very much for hanging out with us all week and being here. You all keep the fires of Valhalla burning bright. I absolutely positively can't thank you all enough for everything you do every single morning. Thank you, guys. This show would not be the same without you in any way, shape, or form. It wouldn't. And the people on the panel, Purple Valkyrie, Brambling Canuck, Dave Bob, thank you so much for doing this retro review. We've got 3 more Fridays to do. And then we're going to do Firefly, and then we're going to shake things up a bit and change the way Fridays work. I love doing the retro reviews. I love doing the best of series, but we're going to do something new. We're going to do something different, and I can't wait for that. Everyone have a great weekend. Take care. Be excellent to each other, and I'll see you all in an hour over on Purple's Rise and Shine. Take care, everybody.
Take care, folks.
These videos are tremendous. Like, comment, and subscribe, and hammer that notification bell.